A young couple boards a small boat, heading toward an island that doesn't appear on any map most tourists would ever see. The boat's owner drops them off, wishes them a safe trip, and makes a promise he'll be back in exactly 10 days. Neither of them realizes that promise might be the only thing standing between them and whatever already lives on that island. They set up camp, swim in crystal clear water, and fall asleep in the sun, completely unaware that they are being watched. When the woman wakes up, the first thing she sees isn't her boyfriend. It's a set of footprints in the sand that don't belong to either of them. Curiosity gets the better of both of them. They follow the tracks into the forest, deeper than they probably should, until the fading light forces them to turn back and set up their tent for the night. While gathering firewood, the boyfriend stumbles across something he wasn't expecting: human bone, half buried in the dirt. Before he can process it, he hears footsteps running behind him. He spins around, nothing is there. He convinces himself it was an animal. He has to, because the alternative is something neither of them is ready to accept. That night, the footsteps come back, circling the tent while they sleep. He steps outside to check. Again, nothing. But the next morning brings something far more disturbing: her underwear, taken from inside the tent, now hanging from a tree branch outside. Someone was close enough to touch their belongings while they slept, and neither of them heard a thing. Still, they try to salvage the vacation. They go spearfishing, nearly step on a venomous fish hidden in the shallows, and push further out into deeper water, hoping for a better catch. That's when a sound stops them cold, crying, coming from somewhere inside the forest. They follow it, and it leads them to an abandoned hut they've never noticed before. And beside it, a grave. A name is carved into the headstone: Coral. Back at camp, they review the footage from their camera, hoping to catch whoever has been messing with them. Instead, they find something worse: footage of themselves, asleep inside the tent, filmed by someone standing outside, watching. She wants to call for an early pickup immediately. He convinces her to stay, certain this is just some local kid playing a prank. The next day, gunshots echo from the shoreline. It's just fishermen, hunting with rifles, but the tension is already unbearable. That night, screams tear through the darkness, and once again, the trail leads straight back to the hut. This time, a massive coral stone now sits on top of the grave. It wasn't there before. They run. The following morning, dozens of sea cucumbers are found hanging near their tent, and her phone has vanished without a trace. Convinced the fishermen from the day before are behind it, he storms across the island to confront them, only to find two men who don't understand a word of English and have no idea what he's talking about. The confrontation turns physical. Hours later, when they return to search for the phone again, the fishermen and their boat are gone. He swims out to a boat still anchored offshore, hoping his phone might be there. It isn't. But someone is waiting for him. He's struck from behind and knocked out cold. He wakes up at night, tied up, with her tied up beside him. One of the fishermen has returned, and what happens next is something out of a nightmare, interrupted only by a strange, unexplained noise from the forest that pulls both men away to investigate. Gunshots and screams follow. In the chaos, he manages to break free and untie her, and they sprint back to the tent, terrified and out of answers. The next morning, more footprints appear. This time, she follows them alone, without waking him, straight back to the hut. Inside, she finds an old book, and what's written inside changes everything. It tells the story of a woman named Coral, who once lived alone on this island harvesting sea cucumbers for a living. One day she stepped on a venomous fish and fell gravely ill. 7 men arrived on the island. Instead of helping her, they tortured her to death. Since then, the story goes, Coral's spirit has haunted every man unlucky enough to set foot on her island. He refuses to believe it, calls it a fairy tale. That night, they're woken by violent noises outside, and when they check, 2 fresh, empty graves have appeared beside their tent. The next day, desperate to be seen by any passing boat, they head to the beach to build a signal fire. He hears a strange sound pulling him back toward the forest and, without telling her, goes to investigate alone. It leads him to the hut again, where he hears a phone ringing inside. His phone. The one that vanished days ago. He finds it, and in that moment, it hits him the ringing wasn't a coincidence. It was a sign, meant to convince him the story in the book is real. His disbelief finally starts to crack. Then he turns around, and a woman holding a knife is already standing behind him. She waits for him to come back. When he doesn't, she panics and searches everywhere until nightfall finally forces her to the hut. He isn't there. She runs toward Coral's grave instead, and what she finds there breaks her completely, his lifeless body, covered in stab wounds. She collapses beside him. When she wakes up the next day, his body is gone. In its place, near their tent, is a freshly dug grave. Her heart shattered. She tries to build a fire to keep warm, and that's when she sees a woman standing at the edge of the beach. She runs toward her, hoping it's help. Instead, she steps directly onto a venomous stonefish. As the pain shoots through her body, she looks up and finally understands who she's really looking at. The poison spreads, her strength fades, and in her very last moment, the only thing she can think about is him. On day 11, exactly as promised, the boat owner returns to pick them up. But the island is silent, no signs of life anywhere, just their tent, still standing, and 2 fresh mounds of earth that weren't there before. He starts calling out their names, searching until he finds himself standing in front of the same abandoned hut. He pushes the door open and steps inside, and behind him, she's standing there, eyes empty, no longer herself. Now just another part of the island that claimed her. The film ends there, leaving us to imagine exactly what happens to him next.